What is going on, guys? We are coming back at you with some Monsters and Memories patch notes. As of right now, the stress test for 10.4 and 10.5, October 4th and 5th, just went live right now. Nick dropped some patch notes, and so we're going to go over those right now. I'm logged into the game, doing my part, trying to help stress out the server, but everybody is locked into Night Harbor right now, so I figured it would be a good time to just AFK in there and get my connection going, and then record these patch notes while we're stuck in Night Harbor. So, something I want to point out here is you see Nick has it here, and you'll see some dates as we go through these. You'll see various older dates, like this one right here is 9/11, and the reason for that is we're going to see several sets of patch notes that have been coming out since the last playtest. So since the September 1st playtest up until today, the October 4th and 5th stress test, several patches have been implemented on the closed alpha, which the general public do not get to see or experience. So those have been dropping, and so we're going to slowly or thoroughly go through each of those notes and get up to date to today. All of this should be available to experience right now as of the stress test. It's only going to be 36 hours, but these will also carry into the next the next play test that's open for everyone. That will be on November 1st, a 10-day play test. Also, there will probably be a whole nother set of notes when that time comes, but these are things that have been implemented, fixed, or removed, possibly, that are available right now during the stress test. Also notice that Nick says that these patch notes are unformatted, so it's not going to be what we typically see, but they've been really busy behind the scenes. They just had a play test in September, and a month later we're doing this. So we kind of copy and pasted all the different notes that they've been doing over the last month. With that being said, let's go ahead and get rolling in here. All right, so we may see duplicate or repetitive notes since these are going to come from multiple patches. So we'll point out that this is a set of notes from 9/11/25. We have fixed character textures, casting message and sound levels fixed, fixes to casting animation, fix the /who and /LFG on, fixes to hot buttons for torches and other activatables, gamma range widened a bit, fixed broken two-hand staves combat idle animation, aura bar cooldown fix, ear textures fixed. That may be the wood elf ear textures. Those were changed. I believe we saw that already though. Add colliders to herbs. Maybe there were some issues with that. Added colliders to herbs. Fixed rapid clicking, not actually targeting. VOZ navmesh bounds increased to include king area. Fixed missing shawl textures. Fixed hole in WB tunnel. Boat and lift position and layer fixes in KB, SS, FP, SD, Phalendrol subscene. So all of the lifts should be positioned and working accordingly. New occlusion bakes, smaller, faster zoning for SGS, GF, VOZ, and SS. These are going to be shortenings for zones and whatnot. Fixed UI of mini stats. Caster player hit message fix. Fix edge cases causing glitchy ability cooldowns display. Memory leak and NPC model plugged. That's good. That'll help any sort of lag and stuff like that. That's, what that's directed at. Ability effect, combat message was incorrectly not being called. Did some cleanup to code that was conflicting because of the merges. Latest data pulled to bring in boat/lift changes plus translocators fallback conditions. Stacking enhancement fix, quest spawn fix, enchanting abilities set to no threat, no aggro, fixed tab targeting not working sometimes. Fix for UI randomly reloading to default. That would be annoying. Fix cooldown timers resetting early. Now, I'm curious if you were able to use the ability, or it just appeared you were able to use it, but you couldn't. Fallen Pass, remove 3 lights, occlusion and nav mesh rebakes, water volume fixed. Resizable panel anchoring issue, yeeting window off the screen. Telekir, water volume fix, add node links, nav mesh. Sungreet Strand, fix broken node links, new nav mesh. I guess it would be nav mesh. Fix scrolling in chat view while changing font size. Item enchant fixes. Fixed campfire having square shadows. Little visual bug there. Broken material bonfire. Prefab pink quad 03. All right. Fix pop out stat settings. Ensure it closes and reopens appropriately. Insert new enhancements immediately instead of waiting for client save to save them in bulk. One more fix to bonfire materials. Remove collider from bonfire and campfire flames. Switch out bloody nose bonfire, campfires, and braziers to their own prefabs. So nice. Seems like there's now unique bonfires to certain, like the bloody nose, right? That's goblins. So like they're gonna have like their own unique bonfires or campfires and stuff. Persistent respawn time added to Nick's encounter in Fallen Pass. Got some tech stuff here. Tons of new optimizations to the server and client-side code bases. Spawn command has been fixed. NPCs can now spawn other NPCs directly, which has been broken for a while. Oof, sounds a bit brutal. It's gonna be tough. Maybe like an event. I've seen NPCs, summon pets. I guess this will be slightly a different thing. Fixes to issues related to enhanced items such as being able to stack infinite strength and infinite disenchantment exploit. Bag quality of life with looting items to the correct specialized bag. More improvements to character controller and addressing falling through the world, and to address getting stuck on random geometry. Fixed being able to heal an NPC's pet / smile emote. New player guide is now more in your face. I did notice this upon logging in today. There is like a book, and there's a little X to close it if you don't need it. But if you click on the book, it opens up a web page with a new, with a player guide. That's probably just like the first time login of a character. Prevent some errors that the client was spitting out related to various widgets. Build optimized, reducing size of the client. Build optimized, reducing size of the client. That's good. I know they have a new launcher. We'll see if that's mentioned or if that's it. Trying a new method for entity sync netcode. Fixed high GPU utilization in character select screen. Who here remembers the New World character select screen? Well, like the queue screen when you're waiting in queue to get into New World on day 1. People were frying their GPUs. Hilarious. Not really. Combat. AC and damage refractors. This is a start of many changes in the coming patches relating to combat. Please keep providing feedback. Art. New herbs, tons of progress on many zone environments, more new VFX, some more animation polish. Content. Halflings can now start in Phalindral. So the Kelithic or the Wood Elf starting city, halflings can now start there. Going back to the AC and damage refractors, I think some people were saying like the difference between plate AC and male AC was like not really noticeable. Traits. Hide now properly applies its effect and breaks when moving. Bribe is now resistible. Trade skills. Enchanting removed shirt enchants. Shirt is not supposed to be an enchantable slot. It's just a shirt. Disenchanting. Fixed several improperly flagged items from being disenchantable. Some cleanup there. Itemization. Torches, lanterns, and lightstones are now small size. Could fit them in more bags. Okay. Jewelry costs adjustments. Okay. General abilities. Tracking added for Ranger, Druid, and Bard. That's huge. Naturally, one is safe to assume that Bard has a very, very low tracking skill. Ranger has a very, very high tracking skill. Druid is probably somewhere around that of Ranger, but likely, slightly less. Archer, that's huge though, because we didn't have the ability to track until now, so that's actually huge. Archer fixed an issue where disengagement would not properly reduce the threat of your target, which I believe is kind of the whole point. I don't know if it kind of like pushes you back out of combat, out of range, but I think disengagement, kind of the whole point is to drop some aggro. Cleric added ability Oath of Freedom. Divine Protection renamed to Oath of Protection. Resurrection Line. Added ability Redemption, level 16, 25% EXP return. Reanimation now restores 15%, up from 0. And Resuscitation now restores 35% experience, up from 25. So it looks like you're getting earlier EXP reses as a cleric, and earlier higher as well. Inquisitor added ability See Invisibility. Makes sense. Rogue increased ambush chance to hit modifier. Nice. Art. Zone updates to ESW, FP, KB, NH, SD, GF, SS, AC, WB, and other secret zones. Animation updates. Horse rig updates. More customization in secret armor textures. Surprise face. Tech. Fix boats and other zone statics that use conditional transitions. Simplification to quests that consume items as a part of completion. Fix server shutdown and restart message not going to the large notice window. Fixed swimming in shallow water. Fixed buff saving. Fixed collision at low velocity. Add more granularity to item values. Fixed NPCs getting massive monobrows sometimes. Unibrow. Mud action window updates. Caravel boat lighting updates. Update to horse shawl textures. Alpha feathering support for armor shaders. Support swimming in rotated water volumes. Give more leeway before considering the character out of bounds and resetting to save point. Skill trainer fix to avoid infinite training at 1 copper piece and to avoid overcapping. That seems huge. Fix movement to movement on slopes. Fix movement getting stuck on odd shapes. Double comma in say fix. Double comma in OOC fix. Chat refactoring for improvements. We will now move on to the 9.18.25 patch notes. Character art. Spectre model added to Unity. Still a bit before ready to use. I saw this though. It looks amazing. You can see this on their website. Addressed several item visuals or icons so they match closer. Salt Lash claw weapon models. I don't know what the Salt Lash is, but okay. Claw weapon models on females. Cloak of Shame. Interesting. Moonlit Crystal. I guess Salt Lash is a named NPC, right? Claw weapon models on females. Cloak of Shame. Moonlit Crystal. Cape of the Plague Avatar. all lunar armor pieces, a new set, Plagueborn Smuggler's Cloak, Masquerade Marchers, Moonfeather Leggings, Ghostly Longbow, Hangman's Cowl, Spider Silk Cape and Cap, Slick Black Pantaloons, Enthralling Bracelet, Seneschal's Tunic, Cognitive Wristguard, Acolyte Robe of Ashes, Plague Carrier's Robe, Steward's Coif, Blood-Smeared Iron Breastplate, Dunestrider's Boots, Spalders of the Mercenary Lord, Scapular Acolyte Hood of Ashes. Added an additional lerp color option for cloth, so they can do more with the gear tints and stuff like that, I guess. UI, chat tabs are here. Create as many windows as you want. Drag the tab into another chat's container. This is great. This is what I've been wanting. You know, opposed to chat bubbles and all that kind of stuff, is you just have tabs and then you can pull them and move them around. So if you have, you know, 3 chat boxes at the bottom of your UI, you can pull a tab from one and drop it in another, and then you can tab around. That is great. That is huge. Gigantic in my opinion. Message fading resets when we swap between tabs. Unread message notifications with a blinking tab. Perfect. Detach, close, rename tabs. Excellent. Customize activity indicator color within chat settings. Please note there are plans for a button to add a tab without right-clicking to the tab window and then drag it in. Nice. There's probably just going to be a blank tab with like a plus sign, and you click that to make a new one, something like that probably. States UI updates. Added name of the top of the state timer for rested is now below the icon. Sandstorms will prevent increase of the rested buff. Interesting. Unless you are sheltered. Huh. Interesting. Environmental art. I wonder if they're going to have, like, you know, you could put down a campfire. Can you put down, like, I don't know, like some sort of tented area? Environmental art. The lifts in Keeper's Bite should no longer have invisible objects or water in their way. Created a lava volume. Tech/TT now works when targeting player's corpse. Now that's slash tell target, I believe. So if you're targeting a corpse, it'll send a tell to whoever's corpse it is. I believe that's what that is. Fix wolf form looking odd in the inventory avatar. Fix UI issue preventing halflings from choosing Phalandrawl as their starting point. They just got it. Plug some memory leaks related to repeatedly viewing the character select screen. Now, keep in mind, some of these, now that we've moved on to a new set of patch notes, some of these will be fixing something mentioned in the first set of patch notes, right? Because they introduced those patch notes, and then moving forward, they found some things wrong. People reported bugs with those patch notes, and so they're fixing them in these patch notes. So we might get some redundancy like that. But now you can maybe see, you know, why he left these unformatted. It's because it's actually, it takes quite a bit of time to go through here and fix all of that up. And they're better spending their time actually implementing things in the game so that we could play and they can test more things in today's stress test. Added ability effects that summon all rotted corpses. Added client command /reload inventory to reload your inventory completely. Prevent zoning clients from being visible or hanging around visible as they are have started zoning. Prevent targeting invisible entities. There's a leftover entity on the client that is set as invisible for a time after an entity goes invisible, which is still targetable for a time. We now check and prevent targeting entities that are invisible. I know it's cut off a little bit. I think this is the only line that's cut off a little bit. And I think I was thinking about that while reading it and staggered through that, but let's go ahead and keep going. Don't snap NPCs to facing target. when not auto-attacking, an example, fleeing. Re-enable fall damage. Ooh, we got some fall damage now, do we? Take jumping and add a dash of responsiveness. Inventory action prediction on client side. Client item caching. Crafting view calculate width improvement. Prevent zone load up fail that cause a zone to load without nav mesh. Disable Aster on clients. A-star, Aster, not familiar. Fix buff timers. Prevent memory leak related to Aster. Panel resize no longer cares about anchor. Panel resize clamping. Dedicated server package. Prevent corrupt client position sync by discarding illogical values. Fix getting locked in jumping or strafing animations. Saw that sometimes. Inventory desync fixes. Fix house door model being added multiple times during server reload. You have to open the door 7 times to get in your house. Hilarious. Balance. Trivial harvests can no longer fail skill checks. Nice. Monoscaling is no longer capped from levels 1 to 3. Okay, moving forward. We now have patch notes from 9.19. Tech. Fixed models sometimes failing to load for entities that zone at the same time as you. Illusion effects will now persist through zoning and camping. That's cool. I like that. Chat tabs can now be dragged out of their container into an empty space on the screen. This will create the window at that approximate location. That's a way to create new windows. That makes sense. Fixed reindexing client items. Fixed null ref on clearing target. Fixed target not being cleared by server. Fixed naked character on world server. Fixed sword spin bug. Okay. Art. Wood Elf male model adjusted slightly to be thicker. Hell yeah. Talking about Kella thick. That's good though. They were a bit skinny. They were kind of a bit scrawny. There's a little, I don't know, a little deterring, if I guess you would. Review of all playtest available zones for jails, jail locks, and safe spot locks locations. Added, updated as needed. I actually want to go back. I want to go now and look at the Wood Elf male model. Content: SHS population addition. So they populated that zone, I guess. Is that Shallow Shoals? What's SHS? Bags added to leatherworking, and I heard Nick say just this morning as I tuned into his stream and I was logging into the game that the bag should be, I think, equivalent to the tailoring bags. Hotfix. Jump speed boosts actually apply fall damage. Okay, I guess it, I don't know. Maybe if you jump, I don't know. Fix a visual bug that makes it look like you can equip two-hand and offhand weapons together. Still on 9.19 here. Server-specific addressables. Significantly faster zoning. Okay. Faster and cleaner character refresh. More memory leaks plugged related to leftover items in the client. Items, cache, and logging out. Speaking of all these, faster zoning, memory, all these memory leaks being brought up, something that I did see in chat too is, as upon logging in today for the stress test, is there was like 450 people in the zone, and people were like, wow, no lag, wow, no lag. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if that holds up. UI, bug report, UI tweaks. Remove chat windows after camping. Art, refix rats. West NH zone changes. Newest content has been pulled. So they added content and then, I guess, took it back. Maybe there was issues or something like that. Now we have 9.21 patch notes. Reduce fall damage. So they implemented fall damage and then determined it was too much, so they reduced it. Line of sight fix. Fix fall damage string. Fix issues with inventory. Zoning fixes. Performance fixes related to loading armor for multiple item changes in one frame, such as during bank opening. Make recipe loading more performant. Fixes to NPC AI. 923, 924. Entirely new login server. Tell window option. Tech collision while swimming and climbing now more accurate, reflects the player's body. Letting go of the left mouse button after panning the camera while swimming will no longer suddenly reverse your direction. Summoning a pet while in deep water no longer places the pet in a faraway land. Fixes to NPC commands, more fall damage fine-tuning. Fixes to build process, preventing regression with line of sight. More fixes to inventory. Prevent spamming instant cast clickies to the point where it affects server and other player performances. That's good. Fixes to character controlled. Fixes to character controller, which should prevent ending up below the world or a safe location. Transparency shaders work. More NH finalization. Fix pressing the back button at character select. Fix server shutdown message. Art. Lots of work on many zone secrets. Surprise eyes. Content. Black Shoals Fortress, fully populated and itemized. Ooh, sounds like a dungeon. Latest content merged. So it looks like they brought it back, I guess. 929, getting close to current here. Environments, West NH work, Night Harbor housing, prevent NH arena flooding. NH being Night Harbor for short. All of these abbreviations are related to zones, I believe. So you just got to kind of figure that out. I'm not going to be able to pull them from my memory on command here. Some more secret zones work. More Orc Island work. Ooh, Orc Island. More Shallow Shoals polish. Sage Side polish. Evershade Wheeled polish. Underdocks elevators. Ooh, we're getting close to the Underdocks. I think that's going to be mod 1, right? Underdocks coming in mod 1, I think. Or is that, yeah, mod 1, I think, right? More torches installed in various zones. Torch holders now accept crude torches. Trade skills. New herbs. Tech. Ledger now shows proper NPC name. Support server short names. Petitions refactor. General swimming and jumping while swimming polish. Models. Wood Elf animations update. Adjust waist UVs to reduce artifacting on the seam line. Wood Elf female polish with some wood varnish. Rat animations more ratty. Myconid fine tuning. Polish on the various skeletons. VFX. Rain VFX updated. Combat and abilities. Adjusted AC, damage, and weight values on recent added items to better reflect their level and rarity. Auto grant tracking ability at tracking skill level 1. Changes to charm break algorithm relating to caster stats. Reduce max air supply to 20%. So when you're underwater, you don't breathe that long? Is that what that is? Big melee change affecting fighting against redcons. Sprint now grants a speed bonus when used during stealth. Point blank area effect PBAOE or PBAE abilities can now be used even if you have a friendly target selected. That's good. There's probably positive or offensive or defensive PBAEs, I don't know. Using the mend ability will no longer break feign death. Okay. That's a big one for monks. Elves will no longer automatically use their hide ability when logging in scribing spells. When logging in or scribing spells. Weird. Yesterday it says, which is 10-3, October 3rd patch notes, Netcode prediction for ability casting, similar to inventory prediction netcode. Balance, strength and dexterity scaling on physical attack damage has been reduced. Additional defensive penalties will apply to physical attacks against red targets. So basically, things are getting harder. You're not going to go out there and just slay reds and stuff like maybe you figured out how to do before. Combat skills, example, piercing offensive dodge will now increase faster past 100. Melee range hitbox for player races has been standardized and brought up on the low end, increasing the melee range for most races. Players can no longer harvest resource nodes far above their gathering skill. Fixes. Spike traps can no longer be used to damage NPCs. Are those like booby traps in a dungeon? You can damage NPCs with those? Fix some situations, or what's spike traps? Is that a class skill of something? I don't know. Fix some situations when client crashes on exit. Fix to tracking when already tracking. Bard instrument modifiers should only use max equipped. Don't do bard animations while harvesting. Environment. More Night Harbor work, more Secret Zone work, more housing in Night Harbor, more Orc Island work. Moon textures updated. Keeper's bite water volumes fixed. Art. Rat animations updated. What's going on with the rats? Incense smoke VFX added. More Spectre model work. It looks great. Can't wait for that. Fixed beast stunned animations. Bear trap model. Shaded shroom model. Harvest animation for wood elves. Updated wood elf leather and Night Harbor cloth. UI. Add open petitions button. More patch notes from 10.3 yesterday, as of this recording, and as of the stress test. Prevent black textures from appearing when going to skeleton form. Fix box volumes. Skip client-side snapdown error that was affecting spider on webs, appearing to be an inaccurate position. Fix sound effect on ability casting being fired off at the wrong time. Fix wood elves. Fix ogres. Fix fizzle sometimes arriving too early and not being processed correctly. Fix the /reload inventory command for players. Further fixes relating to interaction between invisibility and stealth, and assist causing healers to not be able to heal specific target until doing a reload. So if you're invisible or stealth, you couldn't get healed. It's interesting. Prioritize cleaning up entities that go invisible. So it looks like they had a lot of invisible stuff going on. I think that was a product of Unity. I think I heard, I don't know if it was Zbrush or who, they were talking about how, invisibility in Unity has some interactions that are tough to work with. Content. Halfling clerics and paladins cannot start in Phalindrel. So you gotta be, I guess druidy type stuff probably. But if you're holy type things, you gotta do the Night Harbor for now. Bone constructability adjustment. Ancient crypt respawn times lowered. I think that's probably for the best. Alchemy. Eltundra's blessing charges increased to 10 and effect increased. Not sure what that buff is. Traits. Tracker trait now available for bards, druids, and rangers. General abilities. Tracking is now a skill. Druid added ability Nature's Respite. General abilities buff timer is increased to 30, from 30 to 60. Massive. Buff timers increased from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. That's quite huge. Feigned death fail rate reduced by half. Massive. Again, huge. Wow. Draw strength line. Draw strength mana cost reduced from 10 to 5. Filled out with steel strength, extract strength, and void strength. So more ranks to that. Most forms of snare and root no longer stack. Many ice-based spells now have their dispel tags also properly set to movement speed effects. Archer. Added ability, immobilizing trap. Elementalist, blast lines. Blast of air line. Filled out, so we got more ranks. Blast of air 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Blast of air, now a level 1 ability, and has had its costs adjusted accordingly. Blast of air now only properly interrupts when using the backdraft effect by interacting with the fire elemental condition buff. Blast of air no longer silences in addition to interrupting, so only interrupts. Blast of fire line, filled out blast of fire line. We got more ranks, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now creates a fire vortex when reacting to the fire, to the elemental air. Now creates a steam cloud when reacting to elemental water. Blast of water line added. Blast of earth line added. So that is going to be it for the patch notes. All of this is effective right now for the next 36 hours during the playtest. The playtest just started. I'm going to be uploading this ASAP. By the time this gets uploaded, you probably have about 34 hours of the playtest remaining. It's not really a playtest, it is a stress test. But currently everybody's trapped in Night Harbor as they're doing the stress test part. Then they will release you to the world where you can go and play the game for probably around like 34, 35 hours or so. So go out there and have fun. There is the next playtest that is coming up on November 1st. It'll be 10 days playtest. That's when you can, probably have more time to actually do it and get in there and make some progress. So be sure to mark that on your calendar. All of these patch notes and stuff from the last month, a lot of this stuff you can see them working on. Check the description of the video for all of their Twitch streams and their YouTube channel and all of that. You can go watch them working on this. A bunch of this, I saw them working, especially the art stuff. Primarily the art stuff. You can see them working on it in real time. And so you kind of know what's coming a little bit. Not so much the balancing stuff, but more along the lines of the art and the fixes and the gear sets and all that kind of stuff. So go support those guys, but get out there and stress the servers out. I will see you in the next video.